Anglican Church remained divided last night over the choice of a new bishop. That's our top story in our Barbados Today morning news update for Thursday, April the 26th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. The Anglican Church remains divided over the election of a new bishop. After about 10 hours of voting and counting in the highly anticipated election for a successor to replace the retired Dr. John Holder, the House of Laity was last night strongly behind the youthful candidate, the Reverend John Rogers, 45, rector of St. George's Parish Church, while the House of Clergy supported his senior, Dr. Jeffrey Gibson, the 61-year-old dean of the St. Michael's Cathedral. Diocesan Administrator Canon Wayne Isaacs told reporters outside the Ivan Haywood Center that adjoins the Christchurch Parish Church just before 11 last night that while the strong opposing positions held by both houses had the potential to divide the church, healing was still possible.
The synod did not reach a conclusion, and we have adjourned and we shall return at a later date to ballot again. There were 4 ballots, and no person received 2/3 in both houses. So therefore no one has been elected bishop of the diocese. There were 4 candidates in the first ballot, then it dropped to 3 in the second ballot, then ballot 3 and 4, there were 2 candidates, but no one received the 2/3 majority.
In other news now, a former University of the West Indies professor is predicting further fallout among the newer political parties by the time the general election is called. While staying clear of naming anyone, retired professor of social and medical history Pedro Welch told Barbados Today a lot of the newer political parties are simply parties of opportunity that are still to determine their ideologies.
It is clear to me that in some cases some of the new political appearances, let me put it like that, of these various parties suggest that they have not really thought out their philosophy and their ideology correct, and as correctly as they could. I just heard in the news this morning over where there's a debate over whether people should be permitted to join other parties. But as far as I'm concerned, that matter should be settled long before. And I think that the leader of that party really ought to bite the bullet and withdraw the requirement. That can be something that can be sorted out later. But many parties who wish to emerge really out of the current problems facing the Barbados economy, in some cases are what they call parties of opportunity. And in some cases, what they call the philosophical preparation which needs to be undertaken has not been taken. And I can't speak what will happen in the future, but that's where they are. So I would expect that you can get some more fallout.
His comments come amid recent threats of resignations within Solutions Barbados and the withdrawal of the Political Prostitutes Party by Charles Lewis ahead of the upcoming poll. Staff at the Supreme Court of Barbados who do not want to work at the environmentally troubled White Park Road complex now have the option of being reassigned to the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Attorney General's office. General Secretary of the National Union of Public Workers, Rosalind Smith, disclosed that this decision was taken during a meeting held on Tuesday involving court officials and the Attorney General, Adriel Brathwaite. The announcement comes 2 days after the NUPW advised its members not to re-enter the building, which has been plagued by environmental challenges believed to be the reason several workers had been coming down with sore throat and other ailments.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. The St. Lucia Tourism Authority is unveiling an aggressive summer marketing plan, hoping to draw thousands of visitors to the country during the crucial months of June to August. Authority officials met with the St. Lucia Hotel and Tourism Association yesterday to update their primary stakeholders on the state of the industry.
The association's president says it comes amid a tough April for some members and concerns for their properties during the summer months. Sinovnik Destang says there are fears that this summer will be a challenging one for some in the industry.
We have quite a few hotels who've indicated that that things really dropped off quite a bit in the second half of April. And as a result of last year's hurricane season and the prediction that 2018's hurricane season might be just as strong, if not even more destructive, is causing a lot of concern in the consumers' minds. And we have to find a way to counteract that. We have to make sure that we're on point and on message and on the same page.
Tourism officials in the Caribbean are facing the task of trying to draw visitors at a time known for storms and on the heels of a particularly devastating 2017 hurricane season.
And on the international scene, Michael Cohen, the longtime personal attorney for U.S. President Donald Trump, filed court papers yesterday indicating he would assert his Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination regarding his participation in a hush money deal involving porn star Stormy Daniels and the president. Cohen filed the declarations as part of an effort to have a civil lawsuit filed by Daniels put on hold. We get more details in this CNN report.
This is big movement in the case of Stormy Daniels trying to get out of her non-disclosure agreement, but it's also big move, and it tells you something about what is happening with Michael Cohen, President Trump's personal lawyer. I want to read to you the declaration that he has just filed in district court. He's talking about his Fifth Amendment rights. You will remember that he is now under criminal investigation after his home, his hotel, and his offices were raided. And this case here in California is a civil court case. His attorney has been arguing that because he is now under criminal investigation, he should not have to testify or appear in this civil case because some of the things he says, if he is deposed, for example, may hurt him in the criminal case against him. Here's what Michael Cohen has put in a declaration to the judge, James Otero. He says, based upon the advice of counsel, I will assert my Fifth Amendment rights in connection with all proceedings in the case due to the ongoing criminal investigation by the FBI and U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.